Chapter 8. It had taken Pete close to an hour from when he left the safety of the seawall to cover the 150 yards to the airfield's westernmost taxiway. Close to half of the trees he passed had been denuded of their long green fronds, which lay carpet-like upon the sand. Torn trunks of fallen trees, victims of the battle, crisscrossed the terrain, much like the blanket of dead men sprawled among them. Adding to this devastation were blasted remnants of wooden structures, including sections of wooden plank walls and roofs once made of finely woven thatch. Among these ruins were spilled iron cots, some charred by fire, torn clothes, sandals, pieces of chairs and tables, and the twisted remains of bicycles. Lastly, everything in sight, animate and inanimate, was dusted with a fine coating of pulverized coral, as if nature was attempting to soften the horror. Shortly after leaving the seawall, Pete spotted a dead Marine directly in his path. It was his company executive officer, Lieutenant Ed Pfeffer. The XO lay on his back, his blue eyes staring skyward, a look of shock on his usually expressionless face. Pete had little time for people in authority, a trait he developed from growing up under the harsh rule of a domineering father. Yet as he gazed at the dead man, he felt an uncharacteristic pang of regret. As he had done with Ted, Pete closed the dead eyes before they became fried by the sun. That's when Pete noticed that Pfeffer's dead right hand still clutched his .45 automatic. Instinctively, he pried it loose. "Sorry, sir," he told the corpse. "You don't need this anymore. I might." He pulled back on the slide to make sure the weapon was loaded and armed, then setting the safety, tucked it into his web belt. Distasteful as he found it, Pete next rifled through the dead man's gear until he came up with 2 spare magazines for the pistol. He pocketed them. Pete scampered to a clump of coconut trees that stood relatively unscathed. High overhead, a dead sniper dangled on the end of the tether that had secured him to the treetop. His lifeless body gently swung from the tree like a macabre Christmas ornament. Amid the embrace of this trio of palms, Pete took a breather, hunkered down in what